So with that being said, our guest speaker for tonight is going to be our neighbor, our friend, colleague. He's been in your shoes, he sat in your shoes, he understands what it's like to go through, persevere, and withstand all the obstacles that life kind of throws your way throughout earning multiple degrees. So with that being said, I'm going to bring to you guys today Mr. Al Franklin. Let's give it up for him. Good evening.
Good evening.
How are y'all doing today? Awesome, awesome. It's a pleasure to see you all. I'm excited. I feel like acting like Brown, when Brown, when he gets the opportunity to speak, he's like, me, you want me to speak? So thank you so much. My name again is Al Franklin. I am the Community and Cultural Affairs Director right downstairs in the city of Stonecrest. So as you all know, the city of Stonecrest is DeKalb County's newest city. We've been around for a little over 2 years now. I've been on board with the city for a year. So we're excited about that. And I'll tell you a little bit more about my role, my function, what I do. And then hopefully I'll be able to give a couple of pointers that you all maybe can relate to. So you're not going to get a long speech, but you will get a little something. Hopefully something, right? Y'all want something out of this, from talking, right? Yeah. Something to help you. Okay, good. All right. So a little quick profile about me. I am originally from Florida. I grew up in a small country town called Graceville, Florida. Anybody ever heard of that? You heard of it? Oh, that made me feel really me, like Graceville. So, it borders up against Dothan, Alabama, and just north of Panama City. So, having said that, you get the good old country upbringing, and that's me. Athlete for most of my time growing up, so played football. Went on to play football at Florida A&M University. Oh my gosh! Man, is that something else? So played football at Florida A&M University for a little while, and actually I didn't get a chance to finish my football career because probably a year. I did my freshman year. And then what happened was, everybody say, what happened was? All right, great. So they decided to take my scholarship 2 weeks before the next semester was supposed to start. I did absolutely nothing wrong. It's just they said that I wasn't exactly what they wanted. We're going to take your money and we're going to give it to a junior college football player because we want someone to start for us immediately. So I had to figure out within 2 weeks before the semester was supposed to start in my sophomore year how we were going to get everything done. Because I wasn't going out there, I made up in my mind, said this is too hard to be out there walking on and doing this all over again for free. I'm out. So thus I took my career path a little different place, but continued on and actually graduated. So I have a business economics degree from Florida A&M, so give it up. Now, I was able to earn that degree because whenever those 2 weeks that I was telling you about, prior to, my mother decided that she didn't want me to go back home because she felt like I would probably grow up and be like some of the familiar people back home who were just walking around and not doing much. Has anybody ever had any roadblocks in your life? Yeah. All right. So my mama gave me the best car in the yard. I had to be one of the smoothest guys riding around in that Cadillac that my mama gave me so that I could make it through school. So, and then because I was such a good kid, they finally took that Cadillac back and they said, you know what, you've been a good kid. We're going to buy you a Mercedes. They bought me a Mercedes. Now, it wasn't brand new, but it was clean. It was so bad that I could put it in a car show and actually look good, right? So if you can do that on Florida A&M's campus, you had to be looking pretty good. But my parents did that because when I was 12 years old, I had a brother that got killed in a motorcycle accident when he was 17. So from 12 through that range, I remained to be a pretty good kid. I stayed focused and was able to, you know, matriculate and do everything that mom and daddy wanted me to do. So therefore, they were like, you know what, we're going to get my baby what he wants. And that's what they did. Now, fast forward. I have a master's degree from Troy State, or Strayer University as you know it. I have a master's in management with a concentration in human resources. So when you say I can relate to where you are, I can relate. And you already have kind of gotten a little idea of success and failure, right? Correct. So in 2002, I decided that, you know, I became unemployed because I moved to Orlando. I said, well, Lord, what shall I do? Will you please help me? And he said, okay. I called my cousin. My cousin said, you come stay with me. I said, all right, cool. So I moved up here. And I have been up here 19 years at this point, basically, since that point, with the door opening up. But I started with Troy in 2002, went through about 2003, and I couldn't complete my master's. Are there any smart people in here? Raise your hand if you're smart. Okay, put your hands down. I want to look for some intelligent people. Anybody in here think that they are intelligent? Raise your hand. All right, very good. Well, that is me because my grades never looked that good. So it was no natural ability in terms of smart. I was just intelligent. So as some of you all are, everybody knows that kid who can just go home and, you know, they can pass any exam without hardly any prep. That was not me. That was not me. So having said that, I got to a roadblock where, you know, Florida A&M has an exam that is done by, what, Princeton Times Review, I believe, or Harvard, yeah, Harvard or Princeton, one of those, they make you have to do a case study. I failed it 2 times. I could not, because it's this long exam. It takes about 7 hours almost to complete, and it's written, and you got to read about a 30-page case study, and I'm not a good reader, and it's hard for me to analyze in compressed time in that time frame. So I couldn't graduate, and I tried 2 times. So what happened is that I had to wait. I mean, almost until it was the opportunity for me to get my graduate degree was going to run out. So I went back, so in other words, to lose my credits. I didn't want to lose my credits. So I decided to go back and then change the testing format. Say, praise the Lord! So they changed the testing format, and it involved computer. A portion of it was 50% was computer exams, and the other portion of it was actually presentation. I am good at presenting, right? Y'all can already see I got a little bit of skill in presenting. So that is literally how I was able to walk across the stage. Now, mind you, what was hard about it is because I don't work hard to get good grades. I graduated graduate school with a 3.6 GPA. So don't feel discouraged just because you're not smart. You're just intelligent, and sometimes it's just not your timing. Right? Has anybody in this room had problems who's going through school right now where you had to take a quick detour because either family, bills, something got in the way that you could not stay focused? Right? So it happens. Fast forward a little bit more. I am a 3-time elected city councilman right out of the city of Lithonia. So I hadn't really planned to go in here and do politics. Somebody showed up at my door and said, we think you'll be good. But there were a couple other people in the community that said, we like your skill set. You think we should run for city council? And I did. And I won 3 times. I also lost 2 times because I got very ambitious and decided to run for mayor. Remember, I said it's just not your time. It's somebody else's time sometimes. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Exactly. But what I kept doing is that I kept pressing toward the mark. You hear that in church, right? Keep pressing toward the mark. So what I decided to do, because my career was not lining up the way that I wanted, because again, a master's in management, concentration in human resources, I could not get an HR job for anything. I was barely even lucky to get an HR internship. And our school at Troy, they were not doing an excellent job, in my opinion, of giving me an opportunity so that I could get hired by an employer. Has anybody ever felt like you're out there by yourself and you need a little bit of help? That was me. That's right, the bank even knows. Even the county turned me down. They said, you're a city councilman, we don't want you here because you might know some of our internal business of who's got what going on in HR. So I was a city councilman at the time, said we're not going to even give you a free internship. So the opportunity did not happen. But again, I kept pressing on, so I got onto the Downtown Development Authority. And did that for, actually I'm still on the downtown, but I've been there for 6 years. 6 years serving for free. You see, you also got to, when you're developing your career, you need to find things that are in alignment in the direction that you are going, right? Everybody wants it paid, but there are some things that you can do from a volunteer standpoint that will help to make you be more successful. Is that right? Yes. Exactly. So, always be about your business. So having said that, I later became the chairman of the Downtown Development Authority. And right now, when you go through the city of Lithonia, you will see a $10 million apartment complex that's right down there by Wayfield. Y'all ever been to by Wayfield? You see that new apartment complex is there? That's got my name on it. It's got my name on it. Signing off on it as a city councilman at one time, and then also as the Downtown Development Vice Chair and Chairman of the DDA Board. So give it up for me. Make me feel good about myself. Y'all are phenomenal. Where y'all come from? So having said that, along the way, you all know my position. I told you, Community and Cultural Affairs Director at the City of Stonecrest. But while I was serving, I met a gentleman by the name of Jason Larry. Does anybody know that guy? Raise your hand if you know him. All right. He knows. So I met Jason Larry. So Jason Larry is actually the founder of the City of Stonecrest. But back then, he was not the founder of the City of Stonecrest. He was a promoter who was trying hard to get his promotions back on track because the City of Lithonia was giving him a hard time. And he was able to actually move forward. But what I'm making him as an example is, you got to have two things going in your life. Find somebody that you can pull up, and find somebody that can pull you up. You see, at that time, he was not necessarily a person that could pull me up. He was a person that I could actually serve, helping him to move contracts along the way so that he could get into the purpose of being, doing what he's doing. Fast forward about 10 years, now he went through this whole entire process, 4 years going backwards and forth through the legislature, and he became, eventually, the mayor of Stonecrest, and just got reelected as the mayor of Stonecrest. Give it up. Now here's a little sidebar that goes in between there. I've had a uniqueness in my career. I've been blessed to go to the White House under President Barack Obama's administration when I was a city councilman. I can't believe it. I got pictures of him coming down from the Oval Office. So, awesome. So never underestimate the places that you get to go in your life, because I can remember when I was walking around at the White House, I saw people at the end that were just looking and taking pictures from the outside. I said, you know what? I shouldn't take this opportunity for granted. Not everybody gets a chance to do that, to walk in and meet the president. So I had an opportunity to do that. But as a result of me being also ambitious, I also created a business, Market Square Resources. So it's a digital marketing agency. And what did that business do? You always got to find things that attach to your purpose, that attaches to your goals, that moves you along the mark. I wanted to do an HR firm, but I prayed to the Lord. He's like, no, don't do HR, just do digital marketing. They ain't been good to you no way. So I decided that I would do the digital marketing firm, but what happened is I ended up working with the founding team for the city of Stonecrest, called the Stonecrest City Alliance. And in that process, the mayor, who's not a mayor, before he was a mayor, and he was going the whole process, he said, Al, you are the third person that I've called since knowing that this is what I want to do, that I want to go out and create the city. I said, okay, I'm with you, but I got my hands tied because I'm a city councilman, so I can't do a whole lot, but I'll be there to support you. Long story short is, by keeping the loyalty with the relationship, he was able to pull me up, right? I didn't lose track of him being a mentor. I didn't lose focus on everything that was going on. When he got rejected 2 times, I've seen the man in tears over this because trying to fight because he wanted this area to grow. My digital marketing agency is actually part of the reason why the city of Stonecrest exists today. Because I ran a super campaign with digital marketing. I'm talking Facebook, social media, the websites, all these skill sets that I really didn't know how to do, I forced myself to learn it. And I learned it, and by running all these campaigns, we went from negative 9% of people potentially making Stonecrest a city, all the way to a 60-40% number. All because I mastered the skill set. But I didn't just master it, I found additional people that could teach me. I took webinars. I was on more than 100 webinars before I ran my first campaign. My wife kept saying, when you gonna go and make some money? But she stayed faithful through the process. And what happened is that I ended up creating my own job before I had even created my own job. Does that make sense? So in other words, you still got to have vision. I really didn't plan on being in this position. God made a way for me to be in this position so you can get to the next level. So having said that, I want you to continue to believe that you can get to the next level. And I also talked about pulling someone else up. What I do, I'll give you an example of what I do so you can get a quick snapshot. The community side, we do homeowners association meetings, meet with them, help them to get the advance a little bit further. We do church meetings, which means I create databases for all of those organizations so that we can be able to better communicate our message to them. We also, from a community side, did the job fair. How many of y'all knew about the job fair that we did? All right, so we talk about pulling somebody up. Stand up. Where you at, Rashawn? Is she out of the room? Rashawn's out of the room. Rashawn, we were just in here just talking in the room back here. Hey man, I had it on my books to do a job fair. He said, you know, I budgeted for it. I was like, well, why don't we just partner? Why don't we just partner? City of Stonecrest, Strayer University. We had planned for 40 employers. We had 30 employers that came out. Those 30 employers represented 500 jobs. We had people in the very place where you're sitting right now, employers, trying to get people like you who are students hired. That's how you pull someone up. So now he has a template that was birthed out of my pain of not having a job opportunity and no one to actually talk to back when I was at Strayer University. And I was like, nobody ain't have no job fair for me. I had nowhere to go. I had to try to figure it out on my own. But fast forward 10, 7, 8, 10 years later, job fair done. See, sometimes we think that it's all about us, but it's really about helping somebody else. And that's how you can pull someone up. That's how you can advance your community. On the cultural affairs side, I've done a couple things. Since this position has allowed me to go to Guyana with the mayor, we now have 3 sister city relationships in Georgetown, New Amsterdam, and Linden. They treated us, the mayor don't want me to tell nobody how good they treated us, but they may not let us go back. But it was cool because we had police escorts everywhere we went. It was like royalty. We met the president, spent time with a lot of those individuals there, all because we have a lot of people that are here that are from Guyana, that have organizations, and what happens is that they have the diaspora, so which means they're very influential. And so we go back with them, they say, come back, help our community. Guyana is going to be the next Dubai, because they have one of the largest oil reserves that you've ever seen, and they're starting to pump. So we're building relationships at an international level so that we can be able to exchange and help them. We had their city council and mayor, they came here to learn from us during our Stonecrest International Week. Cultural, last point, and I'll be out. Well, maybe one more and I'll stop. Cultural. We have one of the largest Caribbean carnivals. Anybody know about the Caribbean Carnival? All right, that comes through my department. I handle all the permitting, making sure that everything lines up from a city perspective to get all that activity. 25,000 people show up on one day for this carnival. So it's huge. If you've never been at Stonecrest, is lit up all day long. So that's one of the activities that we do. So we believe in cultural activities. Lastly, I want to leave on this note. If everything gets a little bit difficult, when you go to bed, and then you wake up in the next morning, and you're able to look up, that means you live to see another day. I want you to remember that if you can look up, then you can get up. Say it to me. If I can look up, then I can get up. One more time. If I can look up, then I can get up. I leave on that message because last year, my childhood friend committed suicide. I couldn't believe it. Grew up knowing him, I don't understand. And then I was just perusing through funeral stuff today. I saw a 26-year-old. I'm like, what is going on with a 26-year-old? And Gwinnett, from near my hometown, from Quincy. I said, wow, what happened? I researched a little bit. Murder-suicide. Killed a girl. Shot himself. People give up. Mr. Levitt, you've met some people who've given up. I don't want you to give up on life. I don't want you to give up on your career. I don't want you to give up on anything that will advance you to the next level. Keep on believing and keep on understanding that sometimes it's just not your time, it's somebody else's time. Be a little bit patient. And if you have a little bit more patience, you can get to the next level. With that, I say thank you.